this way. Oh. Wait a minute for somebody to hop on here. Ooh, just tons of notifications going on. I see one person in, but no chatting yet. That's okay. Somebody's here, so I'll just get going because I don't want to, just sit around doing nothing for half the stream. So I'm just doing a quick one today, just to say hey. And I'm really excited about stuff I'm working on, so I wanted to chat about it. So I'll wait till somebody is in, because Streamlabs says there's people in. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does, and it's just never really accurate. It's like the weather in the Midwest, I guess. Trying to keep myself on this side of the screen so I can see the chat, but I'm also trying to get the lawn back there. I'm covering it up. I guess I could just... whatever. That's good enough, I think. Clear my notifications here. Oh, come on. Anybody at all. So it's kind of short notice, so I'm not really expecting tons of people to hop in here. Man. Okay, well, I'll just start talking. Hopefully that attracts people. So I've been... Hey, what's up, man? Lon Sensei. Cool, somebody's here. So I just, like I said a second ago, I don't know if you were here yet, but I'm just doing a quick little live just to say hey, and I want to chat about what I've been working on lately. I'm going to be super vague with details because I want it to be a surprise, but I'm working on a new series, and I'm trying to get a bunch of people in on it. I got a bunch of people now, but it's going to be pretty good info delivery, and by that, what's up, Chad? And by that I mean it's going to be a lot of really useful info, but because that info is very commonly boring as hell, I decided I wanted to try to mix it up a little bit. So it's going to be a series about how to properly identify grass, using things like the leaf characteristics, the plant characteristics, like the shape of the leaf, or the ligule in Oracle and vernation and all that fancy sciencey stuff, but in a specific style. So like I said, I'm going to be vague intentionally because I don't want to give away too much information, but it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really cool, and I'm really excited about doing it. yeah, I really want to talk more about it, but like I said, I don't want to give too much info. I want it to be a surprise. It's not like anything I've ever done, the style, and the style, the format, basically everything about this new series is nothing like I've done before. Obviously, I've, oh yeah, no, it's Google Lens. Google Lens, I think, is what that's what I use for certain weed identification. It's really good. Other stuff, like I wanted to see how it worked on Bermuda, and it said it was like 15 different things. None of them were even similar to Bermuda, so sometimes it's iffy. Ned, what's up? Yeah, it's super nice. I mean, I'm all sweaty because I just got done mowing both the Bermuda. I had to triple cut that because it really got out of hand, and the mix up front, which never gets out of hand because it looks terrible. Excuse me. But the Bermuda, yeah, I actually had to mow it once on Thursday, and I mowed it at 2 inches, and I had to bag because it was like 5 inches tall, and Thursday was like 5 days after I mowed it last at 1 inch. And then, like I said, I triple mowed it again today, and then I'm gonna mow it again tomorrow just to kind of clean everything up and get it nice and tight again. And then I mow again on Tuesday, mow again Thursday, mow again Saturday. Basically, I have to mow every 2 days. And back here, this way, the bluegrass, I'm very shocked. I've been having to mow this at least two times a week. I don't understand how or why. I'm not adequately watering. I'm not fertilizing. I was thinking about doing some fertilization today, but I think I'm going to do it tomorrow because, yeah, kind of the opposite of what Ned's saying. Or I guess the same thing as Ned's saying, our heat wave is over, or at least for a little bit. We're getting, the next week, we're looking at highs in the low 80s, high 70s, which, I mean, that's cool season, you know, I don't know what I was going to say, good zone, whatever. Excuse me. So that's why I want to fertilize back here. It's going to probably slow down the Bermuda a little bit, but I think with the sun beating on it, it'll be just fine. Yeah, seeds, I've only been really into lawn care for like 3 years now, or I guess 4 years, but only on YouTube for 3 years, or 2 years. Wow. Yeah, I started the channel in 2019, and it's 2021. But yeah, seeds has always been expensive for good seed. At least from my perspective, I guess it depends on what expensive is to you. But like, I was like, when I first wanted to seed, I was like, oh yeah, I'll go to Seed Superstore. Everyone talks about Seed Superstore. But then, like, the basic mixes there are like hundreds of bucks for like 5-10 pounds. I was like, no, I'm not ever going to do that. Last year I did get peat seed, which was also kind of pricey, but it was well worth it. Obviously, look at this stuff. Like I said, I'm not fertilizing, I'm not watering. All I basically was doing all summer was plant growth regulator with a little bit of feature, and then also I would do that every 5 weeks, roughly 4 to 6 weeks, in that range. And then every 2 weeks I was doing liquid dethatch and the Sun KTS, the liquid potassium, because I was reading a bunch of stuff about how liquid potassium, or potassium in general, obviously everyone knows this, but it really helps with not only recover from stresses such as disease or heat or drought, but then also help strengthen a plant before those happen. So I started doing that. That might be why the backyard's looking so good. I don't know, man. It's cool though. Sonny, what's up, dude? Lawn Sensei, if you want to try a plant growth regulator, definitely do it. It's pricey, but it goes a really long way. I did the math. If I got a whole gallon of T-Nex, it would last me, if I was just doing it in the backyard in the Bermuda, it would end up lasting me like 4 years. So $170 over the, over 4 years. That's not crazy at all. It's really roughly $42 a year. So it's not crazy at all. 50 pounds Mountain View seed. Whoa. Although 50 pounds, though, that's a lot. Yeah. United Seed, though, right? United Seed makes some damn good stuff. But yeah, $3.50 for 50 pounds of like a really high quality Kentucky bluegrass. Because I mean, what? Bluegrass is like what, 3 to 4 pounds per thousand for a bear seed. Yeah, there you go, 16,000. Okay, so I mean that's not that crazy. That is pricey, but it scales, you know. Because you know, if obviously most people don't have 16,000 square feet. The average lawn in America, I think I did research this not too long ago. Average lawn in America is between 4,500 square feet and 6,500 square feet. With the upper end of that being 10,000 square feet and the lower end being 1,500. But the average is basically 5,000 square feet. Or rather the mean, not the average. The average is, like I said, it's kind of a scale. And obviously that is a floating scale because properties change constantly. Anyway. Hot day in here in Alabama. Never tried Feature. Where do you get it? You get it. I found it when I was still on all the Discords and stuff. But if you look on Instagram, Sonny, I want Feature. I tagged him in a comment in one of my last posts, or my most recent post that I posted yesterday or Thursday. Go check that comment. It's like, I don't know, $12 for a 5-pound bag. I think it's a powder. You put in water, obviously, sort of like prodiamine, but it's not a granule, it's just powder. But it's a 600, but it's basically iron, a little bit of micros, and then a tiny bit of nitrogen. And the whole, I don't know what the purpose of it is, but everyone that was talking in the Discord at the time was basically just using it for plant growth regulator applications, because plant growth regulators typically will discolor grass, not just on the first applications, but on any application, especially Bermuda, because it seems like everything discolors Bermuda. I did a bunch of research on a bunch of different herbicides to help control things, because obviously I have some bad weeds over there. But every single pesticide or herbicide I read said, yeah, this will discolor Bermuda. It'll work fine, but it'll discolor it. And then all the plant growth regulators will also discolor Bermuda. So that's a really good, come on, stop the phone. But Feature's a really good supplement to add to your mix of plant growth regulators, because it'll, that's so annoying. It'll prevent that discoloration, you know. Bronze, that's the word I was looking for. Not necessarily discolor, but it'll bronze it, which technically is discoloration, but to get more specific. And then I missed another comment up here. Oh yeah, Ned, I was telling you, or I was agreeing with you. Yeah, our heat wave's over. I already said all that. Just dethatched. Nice. I think I need to dethatch soon, but I'm gonna wait till we get some nice cool temps where the bluegrass is really going hard. Because last time I dethatched, it kind of ripped up some stuff, because you know, the heat stress and the dry areas under the trees, it just ended up ripping stuff up and it looked terrible. So I'm going to wait till it's thickened up and I've fertilized and watered properly and everything, and then I'm going to do some dethatching. Doing Pete's Cool Blue. Oh, yeah, Cool Blue, that is the bluegrass fescue mix, right? I didn't get that. I got the fescue by itself and then the bluegrass by itself, but in the areas where those kind of overlapped, because I didn't do the edges really tight around the fence, it still looks great. Yeah, I showed you guys the front yard. So Nate, what's up, dude? Lawn Whisperer Sanctuary. Yeah, I haven't tried any of this stuff, because, you know, I kind of, around the time he was introducing it, I was like staying away from YouTube and just anything lawn care related. So I need to get back into everything. So I'm trying to catch up. You know, I've talked about that before already, but yeah. So his sanctuary is pretty good. I might be mixing stuff up, because he's got a couple products, right? Oh, beer cleaning. It looked like an owl face or something from here. Is that sort of like the spoon juice that Yard Mastery has now? Sanctuary? Or is that like, does he have another product? Yeah, I can't remember now. This is the type of thing I would look up in a moment, but I can't because you're on my phone. Anyway, since more people are here, I guess I'll cover it again. But the reason I wanted to do this was to say hey to everyone, because starting really soon, like next couple weeks, I'm working on a new project. Oh, see you, Lon. Sensei, you have a good weekend too, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on. So I'm working on a new project. I'm going to start filming fairly soon. I got to teach myself how to do a couple things like, Sanctuary's low doses of macros, micros, and iron. Tight. So, okay, so I guess features kind of like that. But obviously Sanctuary's liquid or feature is a powder. But I got to, in order to get this project rolling, I got to teach myself how to use green screen. I got to get better at editing, because I mean, maybe you guys have seen my old videos, but editing is not great. I got to get my lighting and my sound up to par to match with the requirements of green screen. In case you guys don't know, which I think most people here are, they do filming in general, or in some capacity. When you do green screen, and it doesn't necessarily have to be green, it's just masking. But when you do green screen, you have to get the lighting really, really specific, because in order to mask or to unmask, whatever you want to call it, there can't be shadows, because then you're not, because obviously, you know, you take light green and then you put a shadow over it, that's now dark green. So if you're masking out the light green, then you're going to miss the dark green. So you have to get it really, really, really tight. So that's something I'm learning. I got to get the equipment and stuff to really make it proper. And I think I'm okay typically at things like thumbnails, but I have to, for this new series I'm doing, I have to make graphics. And I am not a graphic designer. I don't want to say I'm bad at it, because eventually I get okay if I give myself enough time. But so those are the couple things I got to teach myself and improve on before I can really start this series. But I want to start it beginning of September. What are you going to use for a camera? I am still going to be using my phone, because I cannot afford a brand new camera. I was thinking looking at like a GoPro, but GoPros have the same. I mean, I'm using a Galaxy S21 or a Galaxy Note 21. Note 20. That's what I'm using. So it has a better camera than a GoPro. So I'm just going to be using that. I just need to get a couple of lapel mics to get that audio nice and tight. But I am collaborating with a bunch of people. I got a lot of people on my list right now, and I also got a list of hopefuls. So you know, we'll see what we get. But like I said, it's going to be a series about how to identify grass. Or really, it's a series that answers 3 questions. What is this grass? Which is going to cover kind of like things like its tolerances. Is it heat tolerant, cold tolerant, things like that. How do I care for it? Which is going to cover the basics, like you know, mowing height recommendations, nitrogen recommendations. It's using the generic basic information, because obviously a lot of things like the cultivar go into that. Because like you know, Scott's Kentucky Bluegrass is going to have slightly different, not only tolerances but also requirements than when you compare. Then if you compare it to something like Midnight, which is going to have different, you know, stuff in general. Obviously, Midnight's going to be super dark, but Midnight can also be mowed lower than your basic Kentucky Bluegrass, things like that. The new Samsung quad camera phones are badass. Yeah, this is just the triple camera, but it's still, yeah, because you can switch it to a pro mode and pick all your settings the same as you would with a DSLR. Similarly, obviously not exactly the same, but you can get some phenomenal shots and stuff out of these phones. So that's what I'm going to be using. That's what I was using my phone. You know, I've always used my phone. But yeah, you can get some pretty damn good shots as long as you try. But for this series, it is going to be a static camera, so I don't have to worry about angles or anything like that, because it's just sitting in one spot like it is right now. So yeah, it's going to be answering 3 questions about grasses. What is it, which again covers a bunch of stuff. How do I care for it, and then how do I tell that this is the type of grass? Because I mean, as you guys probably know, one of the biggest questions that new lawn care guys have is, they'll post a picture of their lawn and go, what grass do I have? Because they don't really know. And then you'll see, I mean, especially in the Facebook groups, you get all these people thinking that they're pros, and they'll jump in and say, oh, because the blades are wide, you have to have tall fescue. But in fact, it's like, like quackgrass or some crap like that. Or like, oh, you have thin blades, so you have Kentucky bluegrass, forgetting the fact that rye also has thin blades. Blah, blah, blah. So it's going to cover a bunch of the scientific stuff of that, but you're right, at least I'm assuming you're thinking, hey, that sounds super boring. Well, it is, but I'm trying to put a different spin on it so it's not so boring. Gimbal, I am not using a gimbal, I'm just using a regular tripod. And Chad, I know that it sounds like I'm being, or it's gonna be unprofessional, because my goal, as I just mentioned, is to kind of lean into trying to attempt to be a little professional looking. But trust me, it's gonna look great, because like I said, I'm teaching myself how to do a whole bunch of editing. Chad, it is interesting because it's useful information, but to deliver information like that, you have to get creative, otherwise it is boring. Because a lot of people, they don't care. They know my lawn's tall fescue because at some point either they seeded it or whatever, so they don't care about learning how to identify grass. So for a lot of people it will be boring, but like I said, I think I can pull this off. And it's not going to be serious at all. We're going to have some fun, and I say we got a lot of people lined up, like I said, but yeah, no, I think it's going to be really great. Once I teach myself the proper editing techniques and make those graphics and stuff, I think it's going to be tight as hell. I'm super excited about it. My wife's going to kill me. I just won't stop talking about it. And some cool news for it too is I'm going to do multiple seasons of this because I have so many episodes lined up before I even told anybody about it. And because I started talking to people about it, I started getting tons of ideas. So I have, just for season 1, I have about 20 episodes, and then I have another 15 already ready to go for next season. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be what I stick to, rather than trying to do my style of my old videos, because like I said, I think it's just boring. My old stuff, because it's no different than what other people are doing, and I'm not excited about just saying, hey, I fertilized my lawn, look. So I don't seem excited. So people get bored when they see somebody else being bored. Anywho, yeah, I guess I don't really, I just showed you guys everything last week. It was much, much hotter then. So it's just everything's looking a little bit better. I told you guys last week that that strip in front of that window over there on the side that was all burnt out. I told you I was thinking it was because it was the sun reflecting on the window, and it looks like I was right, because what I started doing is I don't have one next to me, but those Rainbird, just the super basic Rainbird sprinklers. The shortest radius they can go is like, I think 10 degrees. So it's kind of annoying. I was hoping to just get it going straight, but I set that up about the same time. It's like between 6:30 and 7:45 roughly that laser beam is kind of trailing across. So I set that sprinkler up to just kind of run right there for about an hour, because they don't put out tons of water. So I set that up to run for about an hour, and I've been doing that. I did it like 3 times already, just in the last week. So I guess I am kind of getting better at watering, but and now it's already starting to improve. It's not looking, perfect. It's not looking like it's not getting burnt, but it's looking way better. And like I said, I raised the height of cut on this, so I think it's got more give you know, to kind of get over that stress that I'm putting it under, essentially, or rather the stress that it's being put under. So yeah, and stuff is looking better. But I will tell you that one thing about this new series I'm doing is we're not going to be in my lawn at all. So you won't be seeing my grass. You'll be seeing me, but because obviously it's my series. But yeah, so I gotta say, I don't think I'm gonna have any time at all while I'm doing the series to do any lives or any videos of any kind other than these videos, because the filming of the videos is not what's time consuming, it's all of the editing, and I really want to get it, you know, like I said, I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but I'm trying to get it as close as possible so that it's entertaining and fun and everyone likes it and everyone loves me because I need attention or whatever, you know. So what are you guys doing? You know, what's up? I see only one person in here now, but I don't know if Streamlabs is just lying. Oh, that's interesting. I'm good. How are you? Nathan? Got a lot of interesting characters there. You know, typically when I see that, my assumption is that it's spam. Oh, you're putting together a Blackstone. Ooh, Chad. I want to get a Blackstone so bad. Although, I did recently see, my wife was showing it to me, that somebody on TikTok, I think they also have a YouTube channel, but she saw on TikTok that they do reviews. Streamlabs is wrong. Yeah, Streamlabs is always wrong. I think it's just how many people are currently active within like the last 2 minutes or 30 seconds or something in the chat. YouTube does the same thing. Like I've watched people's lives and moderated some people's lives, and it'll be like, oh, there's 3 people here, but you can see that there's like 40 people watching. It's just how many people are actually interacting in some way with the video rather than just watching it. Yeah, I mean, I also like watching TikTok. I'm not obsessed with it. You know, it's fine to watch, pass the time if like you know, if I don't want to play a game while I'm pooping or something, you know. But because there's a lot of entertainment on TikTok. I know that everyone, that's like the most popular thing now, is everyone's like, oh, TikTok is garbage, TikTok is trash. It's no different than YouTube. It's just shorter videos. But speaking of TikTok and the Blackstone, my wife found somebody who does like reviews. So like this chick does she does like Blackstone recipes, and then she reviews not just Blackstones but also Blackstone clones. And I know that Blackstone is not the original China virus. Well, now it's owned by a U.S. company, so that's why I think it's no different than, you know, any other platform. I mean, Facebook is way worse than TikTok, and I'm still on Facebook. But okay, so I keep doing this. Okay, so she reviews that stuff. So she did a review of the Walmart version of the Blackstone, and she was like, actually, this thing is better than the Blackstone. She had a bunch of different reasons, but like one of them, it has like the Blackstone has no, when you clean it, you have to clean it all the way off. With the Walmart one, it has like a scrape tray, you know, like a real flat top at a restaurant does. I've worked in plenty of restaurants. All of them have a scrape tray, which is a slot, you know, near the bottom where you scrape all the crap and you put it down the slot, and then you can dump that crap out later, kind of like a grease bucket in a grill, you know. Yeah, and she just reviewed it, and I can't remember all the other points, but I want to get that one because it's like $300 cheaper than a Blackstone, and I'm all about being cheap, you know. Oh, the one she got was a Walmart one. Sweet. Yeah, so she must have seen that on TikTok too. Awesome. Let me know how it is, because I really want to get that one. So you know where my grill is over here. Well, it's a mess right now, but over there, I want to make that whole area kind of my grill zone. I want to build like a kind of a pergola thing, you know, the ones that just have the slats at the top, and I want to put some of that fire retardant mesh over it so that the air and water and stuff can still drip through, but like leaves and sticks won't fall onto the grill. But I want to kind of set up a little zone out here because I think that'd be really nice. That'd be a perfect spot for it. I want to get rid of all this dirt and rocks and just put some concrete down. I think that'd be really tight. Anyway, yeah, that's one of my plans for the future, but we'll see whenever I get around to it. Because right now my grill, it's mobile, so I can put it wherever I want. And I know the Blackstone stuff, but gotta go through the seasoning part. Takes a while, I guess. Oh yeah, so that's another thing too. I read that one of the negatives of that Walmart one is that it's not pre-seasoned, but you can get a pre-seasoned Blackstone. Couldn't think of the word. Either way though, like seasoning that stuff really, like you said, it takes a while, but it's not hard, from at least what I've researched. Because I mean, I'm sure I've talked about this a dozen times, but when I get interested in something, I research the ever-living crap out of it, to the point where everyone around me is annoyed, because that I'll just, you know, like when I learned how to identify grass, which, by the way, Dr. Jason Cruz, he is a professor at University of Florida for like the last, I think, 15 years maybe. He has a channel. I can't remember the channel name. Crap. Well, he has a channel. That's how he learned how to identify grasses. He has a channel where he just quick little videos, but he examines all of the pieces, the plant characteristics of grass, and tells you, here's how you know. Oh, excuse me. Here's how you know it's this grass. So I did tons and tons and tons of research for months after that, just constantly. Anytime I had a free moment, I was like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to research some grass. So yeah, if you want a good resource on how to identify grass, definitely check out Dr. Jason Cruz. Maybe Lawn Doc is his YouTube channel. Something Doc. I'll have to check it out. And then if I do another live before I start making my series, then I'll mention it again. Turf Doc. Is that a different person? Crap. So many people have this almost the same name. It's hard to remember everybody. He might be Turf Doc on Instagram. Crap. Whatever. You guys can do some Googling. Dr. Jason Cruz. Kruse. Anyway, so that he's the one who basically taught me. I didn't mean to air quote basically. He basically taught me how to identify grass, and kind of got me hooked on obsessing over it. So that's really, really cool info, and that's going to be where I draw a lot of inspiration from for the identification in the new series. Okay. How to grow a lawn on an area with hard soil. No lawn for 30 years. What? You had an area with hard soil with no lawn for 30 years? Like no plants? Or just no lawn? Ava Braun, really? Well, if you're actually looking for help and your name is just mostly native trees, okay. So, did you pick your name for YouTube? If that's your real name, that's unfortunate. And only because Ava Braun is, she was Hitler's, girl. At least as far as I can remember. Anyway, okay, so my guess is then that you removed all the trees. Not my real name, okay. So you removed all the trees, I'm assuming, right? I'm going to guess that this was probably like just a piece of land that you bought and decided you want to build a house or something. So I'm assuming you removed all the trees, or a bunch of the trees, and now you just have dirt. Okay, that's fine. No, tree's still there, okay. Well, first you got to decide, assuming that there's still time and budget to do this. First you got to decide if you want to remove the trees. Because depending on what type of trees they are, they could prevent grass from growing. They could slow grass to the point where it's just not going to be a viable lawn, or reasonable in order. It will no longer be reasonable to assume that you can sustain a lawn. Or number three, it's going to create so much shade that a bunch of different grass types aren't going to be sustainable. So first decide if you want to keep the trees. Excuse me. If you do, or you don't have it in budget or time to remove them, which I understand that. I don't want these trees, but my wife likes them, and I can't afford to get rid of them. That's going to be super expensive. Then you need to, lots of shade, then what you need to do is, first you need to work your soil a little bit. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. The easiest way is to aerate. I got a pretty big yard, but first one step to do that is to aerate with a mechanical aerator. You can pay somebody to come out there, you can rent one, what have you. And then amend that soil. If it's super hard soil, that means it probably isn't being properly irrigated, which if it's been sitting out there for a long time, then yeah, that makes sense. Or it's just like hard clay. So again, aerate, and then bring in maybe some compost if you can grab some. Maybe get some high quality topsoil. If you can't get compost, don't do sand right off the bat. You want to do sand for leveling later on, but get that in, work that into the aeration holes, smooth out whatever you need to, level if you need to, and then put your grass seed down on top of that. Your grass seed, it doesn't really matter the quality because you're starting from bare dirt anyway. If you have it in your budget, go with nice, good, high quality seed. There's a lot of different resources to find out good high quality seed. I'm not going to recommend a specific brand. But you're going to want to go with a shady mix. So that's typically going to be grasses that are best in shade, or that are very shade tolerant, include things like tall fescue and fine fescue. Now some other grass types, like Kentucky bluegrass, they are going to be okay in certain amounts of shade. So the amount of shade is what's important. How much direct sunlight does the grass get? Because like back here, I have tons of shade, but obviously the grass is fine because it's not always in the shade. Cool season, keeping the trees, fine fescue is our best option. Yes. What's the most common seed? I bought one that was very foreign. Well, it depends on your area. The most common seed you're going to find is either Pennington or Scots. Excuse me. I think a bug flew in my throat. And again, it will depend on your area, but the most common everywhere is Pennington and Scots. Now those aren't bad seed, they're just fine. They just typically have weed seeds in them and other just junk. But they are very reasonably priced, and you will get good turf out of it. So that's definitely not a bad option. And the shady mixes of those, make sure you read the label to find out what types of grass there are. One of the issues I have with Scots and Pennington is that they fill a lot of their seed mixes with annual ryegrass, and then for like shady mix. So ryegrass is not exactly shade tolerant. It's not super low like Bermuda, but it's not even in the middle. It's if we're talking about a scale, and this is super shade tolerant, and this is super shade intolerant. It's which hand? Super shade intolerant. It's closer to like here. And they stick tons of rye in there, both perennial and annual. So that's annoying, and that's stupid, and I hate it. So make sure you check the seed bag to see if it has any ryegrass in it. Like Chad said, if you are talking cool season. Oh, okay. So I should have asked you, where you're located. Okay, so you're in Australia. Okay, so your options are different than what I just presented. So let me think here. So a shade-tolerant, warm season grass. Buffalo would be a grass that would be decent. Buffalo is fairly shade-tolerant. It's not as shade-tolerant as something like a tall fescue, which you could use tall fescue in Australia. I don't know if you have available options to you in Australia. Unfortunately, I'm not too aware of the global availability for certain seed brands or seed types. but buffalo would do decent in shade. Again, depends on how much shade. If we're talking like full shade all the time, then no, it's not going to do well. Bermuda, which is cooch, will not do good in the shade. Same with the blue cooch. Zoysia, I believe Zoysia would do okay in the shade, but again, it is going to depend on how much shade. I really need to figure out how to pronounce it, but kick. I'm just going to call it kick for now. Kick, I do not know that much about kick right now. I am doing tons of research on all these grasses, and by the way, I don't know if I said it, but cooch is Bermuda. It's just a different name for it. That's the name that they use in Australia. But yeah, so I'm doing tons of research on all this stuff. I haven't gotten to kick though yet. It's later in my list. If you want to know information about kick, go check out Lawn Tips. If you have Instagram, get on Instagram and look up Lawn Tips. If you don't, get on his YouTube channel, Lawn Tips, or check out his website. He's in Australia. He has Kikuyu, I don't know, Kikuyu, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, but he has kick. I know it. He's new to the lawn. He's new to this kick lawn. Yes, Ben Lawn Tips. Thank you, Chad. Ben Lawn Tips. But yes, buffalo is going to be your best option. But out of those options you just gave me. But when it comes to seeding buffalo, if you got buffalo seed, you can plug it, you can sod it. But buffalo seed, you have to follow some very specific steps when it comes to seeding it. So you should have gotten, if you got it in a bag, then the bag should be almost like a loose or a tight mesh, basically. So what you need to do is pre-soak it for like 12 hours. And then you can seed it, and then you have to water it just like any other grass. Buffalo grows fairly slow, but it spreads like crazy. It doesn't spread as fast as something like Bermuda or even Kentucky bluegrass, but yeah. But again, it does depend on how much shade. I will do some more research and figure that out if you want. Again, though, like I said, definitely look for Ben Lawn Tips, as Chad said, and I already said he's going to have way more information for you for your specific area. I don't remember where he is in Australia, but he's got to be fairly close. I guess that's stupid. Australia is massive, but whatever. Yeah, sorry I couldn't help more. What's the grass I have back here is Kentucky bluegrass, which is a cool season grass, which it can do okay in warm season areas. Her in Queensland. Oh, did you say he's? Okay, so he's in Queensland too. Awesome, great. I couldn't remember. Plus I know he just moved, so I wasn't sure how far away from his. Your climate is temperate. Okay, well, let me ask you, how cold do your winters get in Fahrenheit? I'm still not good at the Celsius conversion. You typically see, you're in Victoria. Oh, I thought you said you were in Queensland. Okay, so I don't know specific areas. So you might be okay to do something like a Kentucky bluegrass, but again, I don't know the availability of something like Kentucky bluegrass in your area. And typically, again, depends on how much shade you have, but typically Kentucky bluegrass does not like the shade. But if you are in a climate that would be considered either a transition zone, look up your, that's not going to work. Yeah, see if you're in a warm season, cool season, or transition season area, and then you can determine what kind of grass is going to be good for you, and then then you have all of your available options, and then see what's the most shade tolerant out of all of those, and go with that, or a mix. Again, if you can get cool season grasses like tall fescue or fine fescue, then those are going to work really well in the shade. Victoria South to warm season. Okay. Wait, Victoria is southern Queensland or southern Australia? Because wouldn't that be cooler season? I would need to, I mean, even if somebody's talking about a specific state other than Nebraska, I still have to pull up a map to get good info. Southern Australia is cooler. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I didn't, yeah. Yeah, because you're closer to the equator, you know, just like the United States, the southern states are the hotter because we're closer to the equator. So if Victoria is southern Australia, then you would be looking at either transition zone or cool season, probably. Yeah, see, Chad, at first I was backwards too. I was like, oh, you're southern. Okay, wait. Gotta remember, everything's upside down back there, or down there. Yeah. So again, yeah, I am not necessarily the best resource, but in those involving the steps to get the grass growing, if you do have super hard soil, that's still going to work. Get somebody out there to mechanically aerate, or if, you know, depending on what's available to you, you could get somebody to aerify for you, which is, excuse me, the difference between aeration and aerification is aeration is they just poke all the holes and then they leave the plugs there and that's it. So you would have to remove the plugs and then amend your soil. But if somebody's aerifying, then they are poking the holes, removing the plugs, and then adding an amendment for you. That obviously is going to be more expensive because you're going to have to pay for the aeration service itself as well as the top dressing service and the actual product that they're using. But you're going to get it all done in basically one fell swoop. Again, it depends on what's available to you in your area, depends on budget, everything, which I'm sure you already know. I don't need to go into detail about all that, but yeah, that's essentially what you want to do is aerate, get all that soil broken up and nice and smooth and soft, at least long enough for the seed to start to germinate. Anywho, so I did not actually expect anybody to ask for help. That's awesome. Thank you. That's never happened before. Cool. Anyway, hopefully I was helpful. Like I said, Lawn Tips, that dude is crazy smart. He's going to have way more information for you. Yeah, Chad's right. Since you are cool season, Fine Fescue is going to work. Keep in mind, Fine Fescue does not like traffic. So if, you know, if maybe, I don't know, if you and your family are out walking around all the time in the lawn, that's not really going to hurt too much. But if there's any like dogs playing or people running around or kids or whatever it might be, that Fine Fescue is going to take a beating and it's not going to like it. If you can get Creeping Red Fescue, because not only is it a fine fescue that's very, very shade tolerant, but also it does slowly spread. So if you do have certain areas that aren't looking great, you can just wait it out and let it fill in. Another bonus about fine fescue is that it does not require very much fertilizer, and it also doesn't require very much water, and that's because of the thinness of the blades. I have some fine fescue back here that stayed over from last year, but I don't remember where it is. But the blades are incredibly fine, so if you have any sort of humidity in your area, that's typically enough to kind of keep it, I don't want to say keep it watered, but yes, fine fescue. If you looked up a picture of fine fescue, make sure you look for fine fescue lawn. If you're Googling it, fine fescue lawn, not fine fescue, because a lot of the decorative grasses you see, you know, like the big decorative grasses, they are a type of fine fescue. So keep that in mind. And get humid in summer. Okay, yeah, I mean here too. So it sounds like you basically have a climate similar to ours, or mine, I should say, where winters can get, or maybe yours is slightly different, but winters here are typically in the single digits Fahrenheit, and they are a mix of about half the winter is dry, half of it's humid, and then we will get several weeks of like bitter cold, you know, negative 15, negative 20 Fahrenheit, and then summers we'll get up to hundreds, 110 max degrees Fahrenheit, and very, very humid, but in general, for most of the year, it's pretty comfortable. Anywho, so Yep. So yeah, it sounds like you're basically living in the Midwest of Australia. So yeah, we will literally get, like, you have to wear a coat and pants to go outside in the morning, and then by the time you're coming home from work, you have to wear shorts. We'll get days like that. So yeah, I guess you're living in the Midwest of Australia. That's funny. Okay, well, like I said, Ava, I know that's not your real name, but thanks for hopping in and asking a question. Like I said, that's the first time this ever happened. That's pretty exciting. I like spouting as much information as I can. Thanks, Chad. I think it was a great chat. This is more eventful than any other live I've ever done. Rather than me just... Either way, it was me talking, so whatever. But thanks for jumping on, guys. I'm going to wrap it up now because I got to go take a shower because I'm still sweaty and gross and dirty. But I appreciate everyone jumping on. Like I said, I probably won't be doing too many lives in the near future, but I still will see what I can do just to make sure I can keep chatting with everybody. See ya on the YouTubes. Bye.